Alright, what's up everyone? Back for another little update of what is going on with the Dyna winter build project. The latest was that I sent the carburetor out to a buddy of mine. It was leaking, and if you go back to the other video, you will be able to see where it was leaking and what the fix was going to be, which is a rebuild kit for it. So I'm going to kind of show you the new carburetor in its state right now, and then we're going to reinstall it back on the bike and get the bike running again and make sure that we have no leaks and we're running and everything is good. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can get the updates of when I post a new video of what's going on with this build. Let's dive into this thing. Let me show you what is up. Let's go. Right now, empty spot where the carburetor is going to go back into play. I'll show you these as we kind of go through them. This is your idle one, and this is your throttle. But we're going to install the carburetor back on here. Now, let me show you the carburetor. If you refer back to the other video, you will see where it was leaking from, but I will update you again. It was leaking from right inside, right there was where it was pumping out of. This has now been rebuilt. It went through a little bath here, so it definitely got some attention. It's going to go back in cleaner than it did before. We're going to install this back on the bike, and this is where it's going to go, is right inside of here. So this is just a stock Harley carburetor, and you can see the cables. This is where they're going to get installed, pretty much right, kind of the other way around, but they're going to get installed right here. I'll kind of show you as I go through this little step-by-step once I get them pushed in there. And let's get this back on the bike, and then we'll get it running again. All right, now before you go and reinstall the carburetor back in place, you want to check a couple of things. While you're in here, make sure that your throttle body kind of intake is secured down. Okay, a couple Allen heads that are in here, so make sure that those are secured and tight. This is a good opportunity to get in there because you have better access to it. Okay, so check those, make sure they're tight. This is a vibrating lawnmower. The thing wants to come apart. The other thing is make sure that your gasket right here that's going to go around your manifold, it doesn't have any cracks, it doesn't have any dry rot or anything like that, okay? This one looks good. I did not replace it, but I'll go ahead and take it off and I'll show you. It doesn't have any like rot, it doesn't have any cracks or anything like that. You want a good tight seal on this, so you want to make sure that this is good. Now, I would go and spend the money on this one, but this one definitely looks like it's going to do the trick. If yours is cracked, if it's beat up, go to the dealership, tell them what year you have, and go and get this replacement rubber gasket right here. You do not want any excess air coming in there from a cracked gasket, brittled out, worn out, whatever it may be. This should be a nice tight seal all the way around here. Back on, nice tight seal. Now, I am actually going to be changing the cables. I'm going to be changing the bars on this, so I am going to be changing out the throttle cables at some point. Right now, I just want to get the bike running again, so I'm just going to install the throttle cables again on here with the plan of taking this carburetor probably back out a little bit to be able to put these on. I might even take the tank off at that time just because I do want to get in here and I want to polish these things. So I want to be able to get access to all this stuff. So for right now, I'm just going to put it back in, get it installed, get these back buttoned up so that I can run it on the street and make sure it's running and driving. I haven't got this out on the road yet, so we're just going through the necessary stuff of maintenance stuff to get it going. So, all right, let me get this set in there, and then I'll come back once I get these cables installed on the carburetor. I'm just going to install this back in here and kind of walk you through the steps of it. First of all, I have it upside down like a retard. It does not go this way. It goes this way. Before you go and just put this on, make sure you fish these across through the intake and to the other side. Keep an eye, make sure they stay away from the rocker boxes. Kind of are going to fall into place. So I think that will work. So for right now, I'm just going to kind of set it here. I'm going to have to give it a little bit of help in finding its home. Same thing with the choke cable. That's it. It's already on there. All right, so now that those are kind of in place, at least where they're going to be. Remember, I'm going to take this off, so I'm not really like overly concerned. Now, you're going to have two throttle cables. This one is your idle, which is going to have a little spring on it. You might be able to see that. That spring right there. That's your idle cable. Okay, and then this one right here is your throttle cable. Now, before you install these, the things that you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure you give yourself plenty of slack. These adjustments right here are what going to give you slack. Turn these jam nuts, loosen these jam nuts that are on here, turn these so that you get all the slack that you need in them so that you can get a lot of play down below right inside of here. So when I'm giving it gas, this one is coming back, right? And so you're gonna just look at your carburetor, like how does that work, right? So if you ever wonder why do places charge so much? Because it's not always, even when you know what it is that you're doing, it doesn't always just work like, oh, just drop it in, you know? It doesn't quite always just work that way. Like right now, for example. So now you can see when I pull it, how it works. Now it's very loose right now up on top. All the slack is still in those cables. So I'm going to kind of leave it right there. As long as these stay in their track where they are, then I'll be all right, and I'll make the adjustments when I go up on top. The back part of the carburetor is going to connect directly to the inlet right here. And once you get it all seated inside of here, it actually is a very good tight seal where it's going to kind of hold it in place. And you're going in crooked, get it out. Don't go nuts. And then now I'm in already. Once you get it in there, you can see now it's got a nice tight seal. It's a good snug fit, but there are other pieces. This is where your backing plate sits, and we'll go into that. But there's a piece right here that holds it into here for your breather bolts. So there's a piece that's going to connect it to the engine itself, but it's in there nice and snug right now. All right, now I'm going to put the air filter assembly on. I'm only going to put it up to here. A lot of pieces, a lot of stuff, breather bolts. I'm going to walk you through some of the pieces. This is the backing plate. These are the vents for the breathers. This is part for where I was telling you the carburetor is going to use. This is the piece that the carburetor is going to use. You're going to connect these holes to the carburetor, and then these will connect to the breather bolts of the engine. So I'm going to walk you through this one. Yours may not look exactly like this and have this breather type setup, but I'll walk you through all these little bolts here where they all go. And these are double-sided, double-use type things. There goes one off the bench. So I'll walk you through where all this stuff goes. Let's get this air filter installed so we can get this bike fired back up. Check for leaks. All right, let's try her up. Give her a whirl. New battery. We are in neutral. Starts. Pull the choke out. Choke is on. Man, don't tell me that battery's already dying on me. Brand new battery, and the thing I already got to put the battery tender on it. I got a jumper here. Let me put that on it. Gotta get fuel in there. Yeah, it definitely obviously started with a little bit of that in there. Whoops. Yeah, now the fucking battery's dead. But the problem is, the damn battery's gonna be dead right now. Again. That's a brand new battery, so I'm not too thrilled about that. Give her a whirl. I don't think it's gonna go. So we're gonna have to charge. Alright, well, I shall continue mañana. For now, I'm done for the night. I'll let the battery charge, see what I can get cracking tomorrow. Later.